Welcome to Section 1, an introduction to the ArchiCAD interface. This is the first of 3 modules in which I will be looking at the ArchiCAD interface and the various toolbars and palettes available. The ArchiCAD interface is made up of the following: the menu bar at the top, beneath it the toolbar, the info box, the tab bar, on the left the toolbox, the workspace, the navigator on the right, the quick options bar, and the status bar at the bottom. You can change or add to the interface by adding toolbars and palettes, and you can save the environment as your preferred profile. The workspace is the area in which you'll construct, model and view your design. By default, it has an origin point at its center, shown as an X. If you hover above it, it shows an X coordinate of 0 and a Y coordinate of 0. The default settings show a section line with a marker and an elevation line with a marker. When the Guidelines button is switched on, either in the toolbar or in the View menu, a button is displayed on each side of the workspace. If you right-click on the button, you can create a guideline segment. And if you left-click on the button, you can drag a guideline into the workspace. Right-click to remove all guidelines. The workspace can also have a grid. You can display this either in the toolbar or in the View menu by switching on the Construction Grid Display. You can zoom in and out of the workspace. You can set the scale and the orientation. The toolbox is divided into 4 groups of tools: the selection tools, the design tools used for constructing elements, the viewpoint tools for visualization, the document tools for 2D drawing. To undock the toolbox, double-click at the top of the toolbox. Expand the toolbox to look at the tools. Dock the toolbox by double-clicking at the top of the toolbox. You should always dock when working up the model or when drawing. It can cause the response time of certain activities to slow down or play up. Hover above the tool to highlight its name. Click on the arrow to access its favorites. Click on the tool to activate it. Double-click on the tool to activate its settings dialog box. The selection tools. There are 2 selection tools in the toolbox, the arrow tool and the marquee tool. Both have some settings that are worth investigating. To demonstrate how these 2 tools work, I have drawn a rectangle with the wall tool at ground floor level and another at first floor level. Zoom in. The arrow tool has 3 selection methods. The first selection method is the partial method. Drag a selection box over part of the rectangle and all elements will be selected. This will work in either direction. These 3 walls have been selected. This one remains unselected. The second method of selection, you have to drag a box over the entire element in any direction for it to be selected. The third method is directional. Drag from left to right. The section box must cover the entire element. drag from right to left. The selection box only has to cover part of the element for it to be selected. The arrow tool has three geometry methods. The first one, polygonal method. The second one, rectangular method. The third method is the rotated rectangular method. I will zoom in to the wall structure to demonstrate the quick selection button. In the off position, you have to click an edge or a node to select the element. In the on position, you can click in the empty space in between and it will select. This is convenient if you have an element such as a slab where you can click on the edge if it's visible, but if it is hidden by the wall, it may be difficult to select. With the quick selection button in the on position, you can select anywhere within the slab boundary and it will be selected. There are two types of selection: the normal selection type and the sub-element selection type. The normal will allow you to select any element, but the sub-element type will only select certain elements, such as the morph tool. I will draw a morph in plan view, select it, show selection in 3D. With the sub-element type selected, click on the surface of the morphed area, left click, select push and pull and move in an upward direction, select an edge, offset that edge, select another edge, offset that edge, and that is how the sub-element type operates. The marquee selection tool does not show selected items in the same way as the arrow tool. It is used to define a part or an area of the project. It is used to copy or move a part of the project. It is used to view a part of the project in 3D. Right-click, show selection marquee in 3D. The resulting view shows only a part of the model, that part which fell into the boundary of the marquee tool. There are some settings for the marquee tool: selection method single floor and selection method all floors. Select selection method all floors. Draw a marquee around a portion of the structure. Right click, show selection marquee in 3D. The resulting 3D view shows the ground floor. It also shows the first floor. The geometry methods are as per the arrow tool: polygonal, rectangular, rotated rectangular. The second group of tools includes various design tools. Each tool, when double-clicked, will open a settings dialog panel showing default parameters. All these settings can be changed to suit the particular element you require in your project, such as the structure, the material, the thickness, the geometry, in this case the angle and the roof edge, other properties which we will be covering in detail at a later stage, and lastly the layer, which is most important. There are tools to suit every type of element found in the building project. Some you will use more frequently than others, such as the wall tool, possibly the beam tool, the slab tool, the roof, the shell tool, the stair tool, the door, and the window tool. There are other specialized tools you may use less frequently, such as the zone tool, if you scroll upwards, the mesh tool, and the Morph tool. However, it is a good idea to experiment with each type, and I will be trying to cover each type as we go through the course. The third group comprises the viewpoint tools. These tools are the section tool, elevation tool, interior elevation, detail tool, the worksheet tool, and the camera tool. All these tools are used for visualization. The fourth set comprises the document tools, a variety of 2D tools including dimensioning tools, text tools, labeling tools, fill and hatch tools, and various other drawing tools. These are 2D tools and will be used to draw detail and set up and measure parts of the project. When you click on a tool, the info box is enabled, showing a collection of parameter controls for the selected tool. This box remains open on the screen while you work with the active tool. You can input and change settings when you select an element. If I draw a wall in this position, I can change the parameters of the wall. In this case, I'll select an internal brick wall plastered both sides. It is a quick and easy way to access all of the element settings without having to go backwards and forwards into the settings dialog box each time to view or to change a setting. To view the entire info box, hover above the box and scroll backwards and forwards to show all of the parameters. The toolbar is a collection of commands and menus that are grouped by topic. This allows quick access to frequently used commands. By default, the standard or basic toolbar is shown with commands such as find and select, pick up and inject parameters, guidelines, coordinates tracker, grid display and snap, trace reference, and a measuring tool. To access more toolbars, go to Window, Toolbars, and select from the drop-down list, or right-click on any toolbar and left-click on any toolbar in the drop-down list. These can be docked by double-clicking the toolbar or by moving it into position. You can open any number of toolbars and store the interface as your preferred work environment profile. Palettes help construct and modify and locate elements. The toolbox is a palette. The info box is a palette. Go to Window, Palettes, and select any palette from the drop-down list, such as coordinates. This can be docked by double-clicking and positioning it in a suitable area. The tab bar lets you navigate between views or windows quickly and easily. At present, I have only the ground floor window and the 3D window shown in the tab bar. I've drawn a simple roofed structure with a section and an elevation. If I hover above the tabs, they will give a preview of the last opened view. When I open the section, a tab of the section window will be shown in the tab bar. If I open the elevation, another tab will be shown in the tab bar. If I hover above any one of these tabs, a preview will be given. And if I click on the tab, the window will open. Click on the building section tab and the window opens. This is the tab overview icon. If you click on it, it will show and hide all the windows that have been opened. And if I click on any one of these, I can open the view. The quick options bar. This is shown by default at the bottom of the window. It shows the current settings of the active tab. You use this bar to make changes to the tab settings. The bar settings at present show a scale of 1 in 100. Change this to 1 in 50. Zoom in to a portion of the plan. Change the layer to all layers. Certain layers are switched on, such as the dimension lines. Change the pen settings to 1 in 50 black. Change the overrides to visualization to white model. Change the layers back to GA plans. Click on the building section tab. The settings for the building section tab do not affect the ground floor tab. Zoom out. The status bar is shown at the bottom of the toolbar. The status bar prompts you for the next action. The next video of this introduction section is Module 2, the Navigator Palette. Although this is considered basic level, I will be looking at it in detail as it sets out and determines the logical framework of your project. Thank you for watching.